Stream to fire up. Just take a few seconds here. Not quite yet. I really shouldn't start recording until the stream is actually up, but I like hitting them at the same time, just so I don't forget. Okay, there we go. Next up in the HAMMERFALL Grifball Court Contest is the Observatory. That's by, who is it? Canadian Echo and Minister Muffin. Oh, Minister Muffin again. It's the next 2 courts in a row by him. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Spawn area looks pretty good. Checking the initial spawns. Oh, transition ratio's at 70. Oh, there it is, right there. I see it now. Okay, the transition ratio is inside the wall. It should be outside the wall. Okay. I'm pretty sure you've got it right on the wall. So here, let me just go select all of, and just make your just make it for those, not with these. Oh, this one's still selected. Okay, never mind. Okay, here we go. Make your running starts. Oh, I must have something else selected. I'm just gonna go back into that room. Actually, I don't know what I've just done. I've just grabbed something by mistake here. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Okay, that's better. That's more like it. I like how you've turned these in an angle so they're all kind of aiming towards the ball. Yeah, just select all of your not all of your initials, just the 4 of the 8 where the running start, and just make your transition ratio move into the court a bit further. Okay, just to move it away from this this window here. Okay. So let me just close this back up again. Okay. So let's have a look at everything. It looks like you have some... I might have messed that up. You know what? Just to be sure, I'm going to fire this up again, because I think I might have grabbed a few things by mistake and moved them around. So while I'm doing that, just want to congratulate everyone on such fine entries. I'm just completely blown away at the quality of most of the entries. I'm not going to say some or all. I'm going to say most of them. Like, quite a few of them. There's just a few that are lacking. Usually in a contest like this, you know, you get 5 or 10 really good courts, and then some mediocre and some absolutely horrid. And there's really been hardly any that I would put in. Maybe, actually, I wouldn't even say any of them are horrid. They all had potential. But the number of phenomenal courts is really baffling at how many there are. It just goes to show you that when you give people the right tools, they can do some incredible things with them. I'm not going to go and say, you know, I like this court better than that court, because it's not my job to judge. I'll do that after the contest. I'll definitely let you know which courts were my favorite after the final judgments are said and done, but not before then, that's for sure. But I definitely have my favorites. The thing is that I have like 20 favorites, which is really surprising me. I thought I'd like, you know, 5, maybe 6, 7, but there's at least 20 that I would consider to be potential winners. And that's phenomenal for a contest like this. Okay, so we're in the room again. As they say, change your transition ratio to higher than 70%. Let's see what the running, whoops, see what the running starts are like. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Let's say there's a bit of a glare on that floor, but that's not too bad. We've seen way worse. That's not bad at all. Okay, I'm going to go back up to the ceiling again because I wanted to see if I messed the ceiling up or if you messed the ceiling up. And you messed the ceiling up. Or no, you didn't. It just looks like you did. Never mind. I did move something earlier. So I knew I grabbed something by mistake. And I think what I did was I thought I was moving this wall, and I actually moved this invisible blocker up here. So that's definitely what happened. So that's clear. So I'm just going to run my monitor along this to make sure it's all good. Make sure this is all good. See, because you can't, sometimes you can't see the invisible blockers that you're trying to look at. Okay, let me see what that, oh, I see. It's pretty straightforward and simple. And you've got the blockers on it just perfectly, just enough to make sure there's no perches, but without making them overly large. So that's terrific. Did a really good job making the ceiling fair from one side to the next. Yeah, that looks really good. I like how you've done that. Yeah, that's an interesting visual effect. Okay, so top half, everything's good. No perches, no other issues like that. I usually recommend doing the 128 blocks, but these are very well overlapped. And you see they overlap in the middle, which is good. So they, even if they shift, they'll still be very smooth. You put invisible blockers over your clamber ledge, which is usually good, but in this case you might need to tweak it again. You see how many pieces overlap, even though you've used invisible blockers. There's still quite a bit of overlap, and unfortunately with overlap you get dead zones. Now, I don't know if you'll have them or not. It's up. Oh, yeah, you definitely have dead zone. See, not clambering there at all. So you'll have to work on that. And typically, what I do is a very simple way to fix. You just take your invisible block, magnetize it to the other one, so that they aren't overlapping. See, there's no overlap now, and in fact, there's a gap that you can't see because everything's. Oh, it's because I highlighted there. You see that gap right there? And that should fix your clambering, so we will try that again. No, there's still something going on with the clambering. You're going to have to, these invisible blockers, you know what, I'll just select all of them. And I'm going to raise them up just a touch. Okay, and then I'm going to bring these out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and bring this one out 3. The other one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see if that works now. Yeah, there's still these might be okay. They might be okay in game. I would test them in game. If they're still giving you problems, bring them out a little bit more, and maybe bring them up one more unit. The idea is you're gonna get them. You see, the problem is overlapping forge pieces are what causes clambering issues. There's a bit of a light going on in here as well. Maybe right. I didn't generate lighting the second time, did I? Test that in game. It should work in game. If it doesn't, just move your wall hops, your clamber ledges out a bit. Move them out a bit and up a bit again, and just keep doing it until you've eliminated the problem areas. Okay. Actually, these probably don't have to go up. They're quite high enough, but they should just move out a little bit so that you're only jumping on these invisible blockers. There's not, you know, the wall underneath you isn't influencing it at all. So anyhow, get those patched up. It's pretty straightforward to do. But as I say, always test in game to make sure that they work in game. Kind of memorize where the joints are by looking at them, and then testing them in game, and test each one several times. Look for dead zones. Make sure there's no dead zones. So dead zones. That's the only thing I can see so far. The floor looks wonderful. Nice and smooth. That's another thing too. Forgers are really catching on to how to make things smooth and perfect now. I guess, you know, you just watch one of these videos where I tear someone else's map apart, and you're not gonna fall for the same mistake when you make yours. So yeah, everything's really smooth. Your spawns are too low. Now this is an issue I haven't been going over very much, but yesterday and today I have. And every time it happens, I show you how to fix it. So if you watch all of my videos, this is going to be kind of monotonous, but I'm going to show you how to get your spawns back up. See, they're too low now. Yeah, I want to make sure that they come up, not down. Oh, they'll come up. Yeah, okay. So you've the two initials, the emergency join and progress spawns. We're going to move them up, turn the magnets off. Okay. We're going to do a select all. See, you've already ungrouped them. So select all. Select all. That's 12. 12 respawns are all selected. Okay, and we're going to change the physics to normal. Okay, and you see they all popped up. And now that where the light's flashing now, it's underneath them. So they're still selected. See, it still says 12. So let's just go back to set them back to phased. Okay, so now they're set to phased, and they're all resting nicely on top of the glass rather than embedded in the glass. Okay, so and just magnetize these guys back down to where they were. Okay, so that's good to go. Now, normally with invisible floors, you have to let the players know where the actual floor is, and you've done that. It's so subtle, but I see you've used the grid, and all the grid pieces are either painted the same color or a different, or whatever. They appear to be the same color, so you just see the very faint lines between them. That is enough to give players an indication as to where the floor is. That's enough for me anyhow. I certainly would complain about that. You can definitely see where the lines are, so it's not confusing. Plus you can get, there's some glare on the floor that definitely shows where the floor is, so that's no issue there. I think we're good to go on this. Everything else looks pretty solid, very gorgeous, very simple map. And you know me, if you've seen my maps, I appreciate simple maps that are, well, I was going to say fairly low in piece count. This isn't very low in piece count, but it's not super high either. But I like nice, simple, striking designs. They're not, all my maps aren't like that, but I'd say about every third map I make is a nice, simple, striking design. Very simple geometric shapes, and very nice to play in. So, good job. Get those 3 items fixed up, and and I think it was 3. Either way, get them fixed up. You have 1 week from today or yesterday. Anyhow, approximately 1 week to get it in, but don't take that long, obviously. Right, I didn't check frame rate, but I didn't see any frame rate problems. You should be fine as far as frame rate goes. Yeah, get those couple of items fixed and message me at Forge Hub or on Xbox Live. And I will make sure that I update the Trello board, and we'll have another look at this. Round 2 is going to be starting, I was going to say either Saturday or Sunday. It depends on how many maps are updated. But what I'm going to do is one continuous live stream of all the updated maps rather than individual. So this is going to be the only individual video you'll see of your map. All the other ones will be I'm just going to be grouping them all, and we're just going to keep going over them and over them until they are all contest ready Grifball cards. All right, thanks for watching. And what I'm doing, I'm going to shut the stream down for 2 minutes. Hopefully to make the next video an individual video on demand. I tried that earlier today, and YouTube went and mashed them back together for me. Even though I shut the stream completely off for a couple minutes, it just mashed them back together into one continuous video. So I'm gonna probably go offline for 2 minutes, and in that time I'm gonna set up the next court. So thanks for watching. See you.